Hey, Steve Zonard here, Treviso Realty. Just a midday broadcast here on Thursday. I want to debunk a few rumors going around, especially in the state of Florida and based on Canadian visitors. There's obviously a little bit of a discrepancy here with what's real and what's not. And I actually got interviewed by Bloomberg News rather a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the news because I kind of set the record straight and didn't want to like create some sort of hype to make the paper. And what their question specifically that they're asking, obviously to make a headline, make some clickbait, is a huge amount of Canadians are leaving Florida. They're selling out. They don't want to be in America anymore. They don't feel like they're loved, they're wanted, and they're upset with this tariff war. Very, 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 very minimal. Very minimal. I'm sure there's a few people that have hurt feelings and stuff like that. But at the same time, if our oceans are here and the white beach sand's here and the sun's still in the sky, we're not going to lose business on people that actually need Florida for health reasons and for obviously for retirees and people traveling into the state. And I got some fundamental numbers you should be looking at and kind of understand why, even if Canadians were to boycott the travel into Florida, it's not going to really affect the Florida market. And that's obviously, if you have interest in Florida, you should know these numbers. But so that's one. When I was being interviewed, they were asking me specifically, well, we hear like a lot of Canadians are leaving because of insurance purposes. It's unaffordable anymore. The dollar is, upside down. And it's fair enough. Like obviously cost down here is going to be more because the dollar is at $1.40, which equates to 70 cents. Or Canadian dollars is down to 70 cents. And that's fair enough. So obviously cost, but then again, anywhere you go, if you're going to travel anywhere, it's going to be on U.S. dollars anyways. You're not traveling anywhere in the Caribbean and you're using Canadian dollars to buy anything. So even when we used to go to Cuba, it was actually more expensive than the U.S. dollar when you converted it into their Cuban peso. So ultimately, let's debunk that. Anywhere you travel, if you're looking for sun, you're going to be in U.S. dollars. So it's not about the affordability. And then it's also about insurance. So listen, as a company, we advise clients before purchasing to avoid the floodplain. By just avoid it. We look at the FEMA maps, we make sure you're in the right zone, and then that's where we're going to buy. Because there's definitely good properties in flood zones, and locations are fantastic if you want to get close to the 41 and 75, and obviously into Naples, that whole stretch into Naples, into Fort Myers. Great, but ultimately you got to take a risk with that insurance. So what we do with clients, if you want a safe investment and not be affected by insurance, we're going to get you out of the flood zone. This is why we like to sell a lot of these new gated communities, because they're already adjusted for this. Usually they build the land, the properties up higher, like the whole land is already elevated, so it's ready to take on water. For example, Verdana Village is 8 meters above sea level. If you convert that into feet, it's 24 feet above sea level, which is amazing. So like 24 feet, and plus we're 17 linear miles from the ocean. So we have definitely no track of or chance of getting flooded, let's say surges from the ocean. So that's one. And then ultimately, it's even before these numbers came out, a lot of clients of mine or Canadians, they think that the Canadian snowbirds actually, like run the market here in Southwest Florida or Florida in general based on tourism and purchasing and stuff like that. It's not the case. And I'm going to show you these numbers, and I knew these beforehand because just remember, Canada's a country of 41 million people. Not everybody likes the beach and sun and sand. So just imagine you're taking a huge amount of people out of that. Out of traveling to Florida. So 41 million people in the United States is literally, I think, 340 million people currently right now. So our main travelers, our main purchasers are going to be definitely from the U.S. That's just buying into Florida. And obviously, Canadians take a portion of that sales and also rentability portion. But just look at these numbers. This is an official site. This is the Florida.gov site. So this is our state, our Governor DeSantis's website, clearly. If you look at it, we had 143 million traveled visitors to Florida last year in the calendar year. That's a 1.6% increase since 23. 130 million of those visitors are domestic, so Americans that are coming in into Florida to visit, obviously, whatever they're doing, if it's a snowbirds or if they're going to Disney or whatever they're taking in. It's 130 million domestic visitors. You kind of see that numbers. It's the whole portion of this. There's only 12 million left to divide between the other countries, right? So 8.9 million overseas visitors. Usually a lot from the UK are coming in. Even Brazil is a huge population of like South America. And if you kind of look at it, the Canadians only make up a small portion. 3.3 million Canadians visit Florida in a calendar year. That's it's an increase, it says here, but it's a very small margin. If you kind of look at where how many visitors and how many Canadians make up that the visitors travel to Florida. So this is what we're trying to say too, is like, don't get all panicked. Obviously media is going to boost everything up and they're going to amplify and get everybody all revved up. But if you look at it, just remember, I'm boots on the ground. I see it every day. It's not affecting anything here. There's a lot of Canadian plates in town, so don't think that's what it is. That the market is going to be ruined because a few Canadians are broadcasted that are not arriving into the state of Florida. But that's just a quick video. Have a great day.